station to station for June 2nd. I guess we're kicking off City Week. And I am joined by my battery mate, as always, Dustin, the righty from the pen, Rob, as well. And guess who's back? Back again. Liz is
She
back.
can face catch a ball
Tell some
like
friends.
no other. Let's get it.
Yes, Liz McGuire's back. She's answering my DMs on Twitter. She's nice enough to respond to me. So, and she seems like she was excited to come back.
And we're talking about fashions this week.
Yes, that was the hook.
Night mode, as Dustin named it.
Yeah, we need a female perspective on the fashions.
But happy City Connect week, everyone. Let's just go into a quick rundown. Then we'll talk about everything Jays. So Jays right now 28-30. We have a .483 winning percentage. I noted that we're actually tied with Tampa Bay, so maybe we can pull ourselves ahead of them this week. 12.5 games back in New York, same as I think the last time we talked. 4.5 games out of the wild card, which is Minnesota. We come off a Chicago White Sox series sweep and a 2-1 series win over the Pirates. Maybe if everyone give me maybe a few thoughts on kind of where we're at, or is it just the status quo?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll start. It's, let's say, a little bit better than it was a week ago, but probably not where we had hoped to be. You know, we had talked earlier about this sort of last 13 game stretch against the quote unquote soft opponents and needing to do something like 10-3. I think we ended up at 8-5, not quite back at 500, but they're not playing horrible. Playoff percentages, gone up a bit. We're at 20% now, and but I mean, for the most part, it's like same old. I mean, my kind of mentality right now is like, who are we trading? What's going to be the kind of approach for the offseason and all those kinds of things? That's what I'm thinking about lately.
I mean, the Chicago series, I mean, they're supposed to win that series. They're supposed to sweep that series. So I'm not really seeing too much of an improvement, just because these are games you have to win. The game today, the game on Friday, wins, extra innings. Okay, fine, that happens. But then yesterday, 8-1 blowout. So I'm still not 100% sold, but still a lot of time to play.
Yeah, I'm just gonna build on. I agree with Rob, and I still think they're trying to find their legs. Like we saw a lot of, we're seeing roster shifts, etc. And I was at Friday's game, the 14-inning game. That was what I would say a lesson in mediocre baseball. Just like it was like they were playing a team that they should have won against. They weren't scoring base runners. They were making errors over and over and over. So much so that I felt like they were playing against themselves in a way, in a weird torturous cycle that lasted for 14 innings. And you know what? It was delightful to see Schneider get that banger to win the game. But like, it shouldn't have gone that far. It was just mediocre. Mm-hmm. It was a class of mediocrity the whole game. So I just don't feel any momentum is carried over from that series sweep. And I wish I was wrong.
Yeah, like when's the last time you saw a 14-inning game in this new sort of ghost runner era, right? Like,
yeah, it
tells
happen.
You everything about. I think that's a record so far for the season, and all of MLB as the longest game, both in innings and time.
Yeah, and I just find they're winning games based on the other team's errors.
Yeah, the other team's losing. They're not really winning. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, we're 2 days into June. May was supposed to be a big month, Dustin. We said that this is where they have to get ahead. They didn't. They were 12-13. So another kind of treading water month, I guess, in a month when really they had some weaker opposition. June has some really tough matchups coming up, and I'm a little worried. But let's talk about the last week. Couple injuries, couple big one. I think a real big one. Alek Manoah I guess he's pulled out of that game with elbow soreness.
Discomfort.
It was called. And of course he does his scan, and often, this year at least we've got that. Well, it's just an inflammation. There's no structural damage. Well, he went and was sent down to. Oh, I can't remember what the doctor's name is, but he's the Texas Rangers guy.
Meissner or something.
He does
like
all
that.
Yeah, that guy, yeah. So he was sent down there for a second opinion, which Rob right away when it
Tommy John.
happened,
You're
said
thinking TJ, eh?
Tommy John's coming.
I mean, that's always the first inclination. So they like to sugarcoat it, and then oh, it's inflammation, it's soreness, and then it comes back and we find out it's TJ. So, but then again, Romano's kind of in the same boat, right? He's got elbow inflammation as well. So,
But I don't think they sent him for a second opinion, right? He's supposed to take like a week off or whatever and get back throwing. I think Manoah's I don't know. He hasn't obviously last year wasn't good. I liked how he was kind of easing into the season. Like I thought he had a couple great outings, mixed in with a couple not so great ones, but there was also seemingly a lot of bad luck in that. But I'm definitely expecting the Tommy John news to come up the pipe this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it as well. I mean, it's not 100%. I think, what's his name? Garrett Cole, at the beginning of the year, had a similar situation where he sought a second opinion from this same doctor, and it turned out he just needed some, rest, basically, and he's going to be probably coming back at some point this year. But, I mean, mostly when you go to see a second opinion, it's because you didn't get very good news on the first opinion. Yeah, I'm not holding out hope.
well, wait and see.
Well, we had another injury that Rob touched on, Jordan Romano down. Another, seems like a common theme this year, bullpen arms going down with injuries. We had a great year last year with pitching injuries, or I guess lack thereof. This year, not so much.
Yeah, I think he's been having a hard time lately. I think he's taking the time to get his things sorted out. That is my hope. Like, he could have some discomfort, and that could be what is causing his pitches to be not kind of as precise as perhaps he would like them to be. So I hope that I hope that it's not a bad injury. I hope he's just working it out somewhere and he'll come back just shooting darts.
It's certainly not unheard of for a team to put a guy on the injured list. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So I mean, yeah, that's a possibility that he's not got the command. He's we don't want to move him down, make the roster decision or whatever the case may be. So this is a injury, non-injury, figure it out, maximum time on the what's it called, when they play games in the minors to recover, whatever that's called, and figure it out. I mean, it's not unheard of, and he certainly hasn't been pitching very well. I mean, he's been making saves and he's been doing the job technically, but it hasn't looked good. And although we often joke about Romano kind of needing that intensity and that, he needs to make it close to be good, it's been especially bad this year.
Romano's always kind of been like that. Like, he'll have a few great outings and then he'll have a few not so good outings where he'll give up the home runs. I mean, I think for the most part he's been okay this season. I mean, he's not going to be perfect all the time. So yeah, maybe he just needs a break. Just figure some stuff out, but hopefully it is nothing serious, because I don't know who else would be the closer. I do not have faith in Chad Green, and I don't have faith in Yimi Garcia as a closer.
Rob, so you don't have faith in our two other highest leverage pitchers coming out of the bullpen. Do you have any faith from anyone in the pen?
Well, what concerns you about Jimmy? That's what I'm wondering.
I just don't think he's ready for the 8th spot. Chad Green, I know he's a ninth inning closer. He has that experience, but because he's just coming back from injury, I don't think he's going to be ready yet. So against the Baltimore series, like, if you put him as the closing any one of those games out, I don't think he's going to be able to do it, because he's just getting back. He's not stressed out. He's not. I don't think he's got his velocity back yet, which is I see that with most players when they come back from injury, right? They're not going to come back at 100%. And then Jimmy Garcia, I don't know. I just think I like him better in like the 6, 7, well, not six, but like 7, 8 spot as a setup man.
Well, I don't think they're gonna. I don't know. This team has shown that they're, other than Romano, they're not gonna designate a closer. They're just gonna kind of see who makes the most sense, and I think we'll probably see that. It's kind of, Barker talks about like slots where you're trying to get, Nate Pearson in against the 6, 7, 8 guy, or there's a bunch of righties, and then you're trying to get Jimmy in against the 2, 3, 4 guys, and I think that's probably what it's going to be. Chad Green came in and it was the 6th today, I think, and now he proceeded to put 2 guys on before bailing himself out with 2 strikeouts and a line out to Dave Schneider. But I think that was a slot that was something where Chad Green is supposed to be one of our higher leverage relievers, and that's he was sent out there to get the top of the order, right?
If the save wasn't a stat that people cared about, you wouldn't use your highest leverage reliever all the time in the ninth. You'd use him at the highest leverage spot when you have the most dangerous opposing hitters up, and that could be at the bottom of the 7th, at the bottom of the 8th, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of what having 2 reliable, 2 good guys kind of gives you, is if one like Jordan Romano is kind of set in that closer role, and whatever that means, then you can use Jimmy, which is theoretically your best reliever in the 8th or 7th, and not ruffle any feathers, right? I mean, just to return back, I just, while you were talking, looked up Jordan Romano's stats for this year. I mean, it's only 13 innings, but he's got a 6.59 ERA this year. And like, his results have been good. He's gotten the saves, but he's been shaky. And Jimmy Garcia has given up like 3 runs all year or something like that. I mean, it's crazy. So, I trust him in whatever spot you need him in. If you want to put Chad Green in the 9th and do kind of just, he's always got the 9th and Jimmy's your high leverage guy, I'm happy with that too.
Well, they're gonna also have to split that time between the 2 of them, because you can't have either one of those guys. So those are probably going to be your 8, 9 guys regardless, and then your setup guys, your Pop, your Nate Pearson. So I think there's really no other option other than those 2 guys, whether we like it or not, or agree with it or not.
Yeah, Eric Swanson has not done what he's supposed to do this year. So
How are we feeling about Pearson this year?
Not a high leverage at all. He looks scared.
He does. I know he does look scared.
They brought it up on, I don't know, I think, yeah, Blair and Barker brought it up, and I was like, oh my God, that's totally what it was. Like, when he's in those high leverage situations, he cannot do that.
Yeah, he's
He
not a
cannot be
pressure
in
guy.
there.
No.
They talk about on the radio broadcast, as soon as he gets a runner on, he will, I guess the color analyst noticed that he starts to go faster, and it doesn't. That's not. He changes kind of how he releases the ball, and well, not good. I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on Nate Pearson. Like I want him to do well, but everybody was upset when he went down earlier this year. Absolutely just ripping the interwebs apart because, oh my God, we can't send down Nate Pearson after throwing a 102-mile-an-hour pitch, right, and having a good inning.
I don't think they should have sent him down. I think that put him behind, because I think he was doing well, and because they sent him down, I think that set him back.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Rob. It was the fervor about it that I was kind of like, okay, like, and you know what? We could have used him in the Yankees series, like after he got sent down. We talked about that and how we disagreed with yet another Blue Jays move, but whatever. I don't know. He's definitely not a higher leverage guy.
The thing about Pearson, we all wanted him to do well. We were all so stoked for him to come up, and he's such a big guy. We forget how big he is kind of when you look at him because he looks so, I don't know, young and boyish, I find, anyway. But I don't trust him. Whenever he's got a good outing, I'm like, that was amazing, but I don't know. I don't trust him to hold it together. I feel like he does look scared. I noticed that. I guess, Rob, now you bring it up. And I just don't feel like he can get it back together when he loses it. But he had a good outing. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think he had a good 3 up, 3 down the other day. And I liked that. But, I just find him inconsistent. I don't know. His command is there, I find, or it's not.
Yeah, I mean, you need a pitcher to fill those voids. So I guess he's good there, and if it gives them some sort of confidence to take those not high leverage situations, if they're still leading, by 2 or 3 runs, you bring them in, take even any part of the order, maybe gives them a bit more confidence. But yeah, right now, not a high leverage guy.
Yeah, for me, I'm sort of with you, Al. I'm kind of neutral on him. I mean, there's a lot to dream on. Somebody throws that hard, and he's got some pretty good new secondary pitches that he's been throwing this year. So he's been somewhat effective in periods, but it's not been consistent enough for me to care about him necessarily all too much. But I hope he figures it out. And if he ever does, he'll be a weapon. But show me it until then, 6th inning or whatever.
Well, today we saw another move with the lineup with Vladdy at third base. We haven't seen that in a few years.
Now, I seem to recall somebody predicting that earlier this season, and I am going to take credit for that because
you couldn't even wait to say that, Rob.
No, I was just so happy to see it.
Why don't you give me your thoughts on Vladdy at third base? Is it a one-off? We're going to see him more? I don't know. I didn't mind it. I thought it was a bit puzzling, but tell me your thoughts. Starting with let's start with Liz.
Listen, guys, I was so friggin' bored with this team this week. I was like, all right, let's do something weird. Let's get Vladdy back there. He's in better shape than we had him the first time he played third. Maybe there could be something here. And then I was stoked with what I saw. I don't think it's a good sign when our first baseman goes to third and we're mixing things up like that. I don't know. I don't feel good about it. But I don't know. Maybe it's me, but I would rather Vladdy at third than Ernie.
Ooh, okay.
For me, it was surprising. Obviously, I was kind of trying to figure out why. Obviously, it's got to be something for the lineup. I mean, I think they want to get Vogel back in there, and because he has literally no position on the field, you want Vladdy in there and Justin Turner and Vogelback. I mean, then you're going to have to do something like this. You're sacrificing defense for offense, which, to be fair, that's what they need to do. So I'm okay with it. I guess I'll be okay with it until he blows a game or something.
Until we're going to be okay with it until we're not okay with it. Which can be anytime. So, I mean, just to chime in, yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of weird. I had to take a double take. I know we talked about it earlier in the season because we kept talking about third base, and I was like, well, maybe that solves your problem if you just put Vladdy on third. And then I know his defense was really bad in his rookie year, but he did slim down. So I didn't mind seeing the change. I think you had to change it up. You had to do something. And clearly they were giving up some defense for offense. I mean, you're still putting Justin Turner on first, which he still hasn't contributed anywhere. So I don't know, maybe you just drop him in the lineup as well. But why you keep him in 5 or 6 because he's not hitting, I don't know. But
trade
Vogelback seems to be hitting.
Trade
so
value.
You just leave.
They want to get Turner some at bats to at least hope he figures it out so they can trade him later.
Yeah. Or maybe something with Vladdy too, where you put him on third because, make him a bit more appealing to other teams. Who knows what's going behind it? I don't know, but I think you had to do something to change it up. I guess it kind of worked out okay today because they won, but I wouldn't mind seeing it and giving it a little bit of another chance. I'm okay with him there until I'm not. So if he has 1 or 2 bad outings, then it's all right, then the experiment didn't work.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about the almighty Ross Atkins. All right, Ross Atkins spoke with the MLB Network today, and of course was lobbed a bunch of questions about Vladdy and Bo and if they're going to be traded. And I'm going to play some audio now, and we're just going to talk about his responses.
There's kind of three facets to that, them as players and their talent, which is elite. Both of them, especially the month of May, have been very solid. Vladdy's been exceptional in May. He had a slow start, some swing adjustments for him that he is in a really, really strong place. And as I mentioned, Bo had a strong May, and that's going to continue. I mean, both of them just have such good feel for the barrel and such good feel for competing in the batter's box that they're going to perform. On the second part of that, on extension, of course, we have dialogue with them, and that is something that will continue. We believe in them. We believe in their futures and hope that there's a way they can play here for a long time. And then on the third part of the question of potential trade, it just doesn't make any sense for us. Oftentimes, not often, there will be occasional times as you're talking to other executives that they'll ask if we'll consider, and we just say it's not something that we have spent any time on. But because they're so talented and such great teammates, they are attractive to other teams, so they will call. I was disappointed to see a report that was something that another executive had commented on about our team, but it just doesn't make sense. So really excited about what's ahead for them and how well they've played in May. Yeah, it's never one thing, right? When you're not playing up to your potential, and a lot of people have pointed to our offense, and I think we are capable of scoring more runs. We're not a team that's going to be in the bottom third based on our talent in terms of run scoring. We feel strongly we'll climb out of that.
All right, Ross Atkins, he was obviously asked a 3-part question there about Vladdy and Bo. Of course, he gave us almost nothing, really, his usual shtick. But Dustin, some thoughts on these comments?
I mean, what's he gonna say? Like, yeah, they're on the market right now. I'm giving up. I mean, he's going to say that, what he said, just because, I mean, his job depends on it. And, he doesn't want to kind of hint that he's giving up. I mean, I don't think it means much at all about whether or not they're going to trade Bo and Vladdy or whether or not they're going to sign him. I mean, it's kind of good to hear that they want to sign him, but I mean, it doesn't say much. Like you said, the normal Ross Atkins kind of mealy mouth gobbledygook.
What else is he going to say? Like, yeah, we want to trade these guys. He's never going to come out and say that. Obviously, he wants to keep both of them because the fans want them, but he's not going to throw it out there and say he wants to rebuild this team. So, as usual, he says nothing.
Here's what I wish he said. I wish he was like, we want to be competitive. We want to be a winning team. We're not there right now, but we will take steps to get there, whether that means trading Bo and Vladdy or not. I wish there was just a straight up commitment to winning, which I just don't hear.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great answer.
Somebody likened him to somebody he won't trade their baseball cards. You're like, nah, I'm good with the cards I got. But like, bruh, your cards suck right now. Like, they're not good cards. They're not a winning deck of cards, like a winning team of cards. So it's like, I just wish there was some like acknowledgement for our management that like we are not where we're supposed to be. The plan isn't going like you thought it was going to. So staying the course isn't the best thing to do.
One thing that frustrated me there was he's talking about, we don't expect this team to be the bottom third in terms of runs scored based on, our analytics or numbers or whatever, magic, voodoo that they've got to figure that out. It's been, I don't know where they were, if they were bottom third or not in runs scored last year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And, we're a year and a third of a season, like 1 1/3 season, and they are probably the bottom third of the league in terms of runs scored. Now they're probably the top third in terms of run prevention, which is why they have some of the wins that they do, which is why their games are 2-1 and 1-2 and 3-1 and like boring games, and they don't hit home runs, and it's just the kind of blah baseball that we've been watching. So it's just frustrating because it's hard to like believe that that he believes that like the actual results are not indicative of where this team's actual skill lies. I mean, I know that we've talked about them being underperforming, and I do believe that, but I mean, at a certain point, you got to kind of take the cumulative results and say, yeah, this is probably where we are. We have to figure out a better mix.
This is my hot take. No one's going to like this take, all right? This is where I'm going to get canceled off this show. It really annoys me that we're Canada's team for this reason. Our attendance will always be pretty consistent, right? Last year, our attendance was 88%. That stadium was full. It's probably better now that we reduced the seats, maybe. I don't know if that matters. But, like, I wish that we were a regional team or a city-based team that when our team sucked, we stopped showing up and it mattered. But no, Rogers is still going to keep their attendance up. They're still going to be cashing in, like, money. It just bugs me. Anyway, that's my hot take. Bring back the Expos. Let's go.
As someone who lives in the city of Toronto, Toronto proper, I'm totally okay with it being a team that represents the city and not elsewhere. The Raptors are the only basketball team in Canada, but they're not like Canada's team. Like there's a little bit different, and I think Rogers has done from a certain perspective, they've done an amazing job with marketing. This is Canada's team, right? And everybody, everywhere you go, in every province, right? There's just Jays fans. It's like everywhere, right? And I think there are, there's some other discussions about what you're touching on in terms of like attendance, and I do think that is part of the problem. And we're just kind of hoping for a winning team. You want to make this team do something, attendance drops, merchandise drops. But I can tell you, watching that first City Connect game, don't think there's a problem with merchandise being sold. Not one bit.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw the hats on the street today. Like I saw the hats in the wild today. Like already, like they're out there.
Yeah, I want one.
No, you don't.
Dustin's got one on order.
Not yet, but I don't want the T one. I want one of the other ones. It's like the normal Jays logo, but the dark mode or whatever. That looks cool. What I'll say to all of that is like, I don't know necessarily that. Two things. One, I don't know necessarily that attendance drives decision making in any Toronto sports team. I mean, the Leafs are a regional team, and they still get their attendance, and they still manage to not have a cup since before I was born.
I would say the Leafs are Canada's team. I'm gonna go. They have a big reach. The Leafs.
They do have a bigger reach, but I mean, you're gonna see more Oilers fans in Edmonton than you are going to be Leafs fans. I mean, maybe some of the areas that don't have a team, especially Ontario, they're going to be Leafs fans. But the second thing is that I don't think that they haven't been trying to win. I think Ross Atkins, in the Ross Atkins era, since 2016 or 17 or whenever he took over, I think they've been trying to win. I think they've been trying to build a winner. So I don't think the failures for lack of trying and that, a drop in attendance is going to push them to do anything more than what they're doing. But, it wouldn't hurt. Let's say that. And
I should probably expand. I shouldn't just leave a point like there. But Rogers is like what they're going to be spurred into action to say, hey, Mark, you got to fucking deal with this it's money. That's it, right? Money, TV ratings, like ticket sales, merch, like whatever it is. And the only way, like if a fan base actually wants to do something in North America, like honestly, the only way to do it is like pocketbooks. You have to hit them in the wallets. That's it, right? Overseas, they do all kinds of other wacko, crazy shit that we'd all just be arrested for here, and rightfully so. But this is the only way to do it, right? And you know what? If that's the way it is, that's the way it is, right? Like I'm not terribly upset by it. If Ross Atkins isn't fired, if they miss the playoffs and Ross Atkins isn't fired, I will burn him in effigy outside the Sky Dome. I promise you that.
Yeah, I'll be there. No, we'll be at the Ted Rogers effigy. We're gonna be burning the Ted Rogers.
Oh,
effigy.
at the statue.
Like
We'll hang.
We'll meet there.
We'll hang him from.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good. All right. Let's make it a date. But I don't know. I don't like Ross Atkins. Like I never liked Ross Atkins. I kind of when they started the team started to consistently be better. I was like, oh, okay, he's building something, but he's fucked it, man. He's fucked it in the last 2 years, and that's it, right? So, I hated this interview because, as you said, it's more Ross Atkins speak, and whatever. We'll see if he lasts the season. We'll see if John Schneider does. We all have our predictions. The first one's coming this week, and we'll see. We'll see how the next, I guess, month and a half goes with John Schneider. All right, City Connect Week. As I welcomed everyone off the top, really, that's what I brought everyone here today to talk about was fashion, jerseys. So maybe we'll start with Liz. As you were at the game on Friday, you saw the jersey in the flesh.
Yeah, I did.
Give me your thoughts.
I did, as I put on my favorite fashion hat. Okay, my thoughts are this. Okay, put up your hand if you have or have been a 14-year-old boy. I have not, but you guys have been. And my nephew is like, those are the best jerseys I've ever seen. We were all, like a city, all of Toronto was hoping for a more purple jersey. I was anyway, and that was kind of being rumored to us. When I saw them, I thought, that's a good B- jersey. It's not the best City Connect I've ever seen, but it's not a real stinker. Like, it's not like the St. Louis jerseys. It is not like, the Detroit jerseys that I hate so much. I feel like, but the thing is, it's weird. So, like, the colors could actually have been a little more vibrant. I wish there were some pinks in there and some hot pinks and whatever. But I do like how they are celebrating the nightlife of our city. Because, damn, people don't know Toronto. That's it. I like that they did at least pick something fun within our city, not something about being Canadian or being cold. They're like, nah, Toronto gets, like, it can party hard, which I appreciated. The hat, like, I like how cohesive the kit is. I like when you see it together, you're like, those pants go with that. The belt looks good. Hat looks good. Everything kind of looks good on. When I first saw the leak on the rack, I was like, that's trash. That's trash. But I feel like they made some amendments. I also feel like there's so many different quality levels with the Fanatics jerseys right now that really vary the appearance of it. So you have your $500, $460 professional jersey. It's really nice if you feel it. If you look at it, it looks nice. Then you have your like replica jersey for like $250, and the colors are weird. It looks off. And then I think you have your kids' jersey. But like, there's a big gap between the expensive one and the lower one. But I know the kids are going to want to wear it. I know that I won't be annoyed to see it in the ballpark in 10 years. The hat, I think, could go harder. People love the T-hat. I'm like, looks like a policeman's hat. I wish it was like something a little bit more obnoxious. But again, it's like a solid B. That's my opinions on City Connects.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. I mean, I agree. I think that's a good statement. Like, it's not the best jersey, but it's definitely not the worst. When you see it, when I saw it all together, when I saw the leak online, I wasn't too impressed. But when you see everything together with the red, it looked a lot sharper than just that one leak. Yeah, the hat. I think the hat could have been a bit stronger. Like you said, Liz. But with that being said, all together, something different. I figured it was going to be something dark, like the blacks, but I do like the black, the blue, and the red together. Maybe I would have liked to seen a little bit more white somewhere, like another stripe, just because one of my favorite Jays hats and Jays t-shirts is like a black t-shirt with like the Jay logos, but it's like outlined in the red and the white and the blue. And that's my all-time favorite t-shirt, all-time favorite hat, so I'm a little bit biased about that. But overall, I liked it, something different. I like the way it represents all the different parts of the city. Definitely, you have to have the CN Tower on there. The colors, the subway lines, the diversity statement. So all in all, like I agree with Liz, probably like a B minus, a B type of uniform.
I'll tell you that my wife agreed with you, Liz, about the hat. She's like,
Yeah.
that looks like a TTC logo or something.
Yeah.
So she didn't like that
Yeah,
hat.
it's okay. So it was funny. So yesterday I had to go talk to a bunch of Jay's VPs. And they were like, hey, I was like, okay, I was up in the office. And this guy just comes out and he's just like screaming orders. And I was like, that's Paul Beeston. So Paul Beeston is still in the offices lurking around. Anyway, they were like, Liz, they're like, what do you think about the City Connects? And I was like, they're good guys. They're like okay. They're not your best thing you've ever done, but they're not your worst. So good job.
How did they like that honesty? That's what I want to know.
They actually were. They were kind of into it because I did a quick ranking. I was like, you did an okay job. You did a solid job. But I said like I would have liked the hat be like if you had just the Jays logo, but throw it in like a neon or something insane. Just your bird in some like the blue and the red would have been sick.
For my part, I mean, in terms of whether or not I liked it. I mean, I kind of agree. It's not horrible. It's not, the worst City Connect. It's not the best, but it was good. For me, like what was interesting was the polarity that I saw on, fan Twitter and out there. I seen so many people say, these look like, softball tournament jerseys and these are horrible. And I've seen just as many people say these are fire, like where do I get one? And obviously based on, the sales, it seems like they've been pretty popular. I'd buy one. I might not buy a jersey, but I'll buy something with those kind of colors and that theme on it for sure. And, my 14-year-old me says these are fire. So I'll have to, kind of submit to him a little bit. But, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more brilliant colors. That's the only other thing is like they do look a little bit dull. The kind of the blue on dark blue, maybe like that skyline could have been, like you said, like a purple or a pink or something a little brilliant. But the overall getup, like the red accents, I really liked. So when I saw them in action, I was really happy. And, for me, it's a B.
Yeah, I like how nobody's laughing at us. That's my big thing.
Yeah. Nobody's saying it's trash. Yeah.
Well, my only, I guess, beef with it is that the Blue Jays seem to be stuck with this same font, almost the same font on everything, right? And, I did want to talk about the City Connect jerseys today. I'm all right with them. I don't know if I might buy a cap. We'll see. I'll go on bluejays.com tomorrow and while I'm at working with Rob, see if there's anything in the shopping cart by the end of the day. But the same font, they love the double kind of piping font. And I'm glad we got a new jersey. Now we do have, I think Jays jerseys are awesome. I do think we need a little bit of a refresh, right? Because every single Jays jersey is the same font, that double piping, and then basically you're selecting what color you want it on, right? So do you want it on that royal blue? Do you want it on the white? Do you want it on the powder blue, right? But I think Jays jerseys are amazing. But friend of the podcast, Kreger, it's like why don't we get some solid numbers, right? Why he can't stand the double piping on the back, right? And at first I was like, oh, it's traditional, and that's how the Jays. He's like, no, we need like real numbers. They need to be solid. So Jackie Robinson Day, the solid 42 on the back of the jersey. Also on the front, how about that classic baseball? That baseball script that kind of like wraps back around, right?
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, I think we might have saw that in the 70s. I think that might have been in the 70s stuff. Like if you look at like the powder blue pullovers, I think they had solid numbers. One of my BP retro jerseys has solid numbers on it.
So the powder blue, right? If we're going to do a retro jersey, because we have what? We have like a home, we have a road, we have an alternate, which is that royal blue. And then we have the powder blue, it's kind of a retro jersey. And then we now have a City Connects. We have like five different jerseys.
No, I think they did they not ditch one? I don't think we've seen the road grays this year, which is my favorite. Have we?
The
They're,
grays are
they're
there.
still there.
Okay, because like I heard the rumor that we dropped one. We've had the whites?
The whites for sure. Yeah, we've seen. Yeah, that.
Maybe they ditched the reds. Maybe the Canada days are gone.
I know they did ditch the reds for a while because they never won with them, but
But here's the complicating thing, Liz, is that the team doesn't, other than actual like so City Connect days, so this week or whatever when they decide, and Canada Day, the starting pitcher who starts that day decides
Picks the jersey.
who what. So that's why you get the constant like powder blue. Gosman likes powder blue. Kikuchi likes powder blue.
I'm gonna write you love powder blue. I love that. I love that like you're gonna have some pitchers who love the powder blue. But I just thought it was weird also. So today, guys, were they wearing the City Connects? No, they were not.
They only wear them at night.
Ooh,
At night, I caught
night
that. I was
mode. All
is it
right.
only on like a Friday or can it be any night game?
No, I think there's 15 more games or something. They've already got the schedule out apparently of when they're going to wear it, and it's only going to be night games. I think they're going to be one here against Baltimore.
Dustin, in fairness, do you really want to be on the mound July 15th and it's 35 degrees in black? I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
That's a good point. 10 points. 10 points too. Man, so my nephew was so pumped in his jerseys was just like, I love how they're black. And I realized he wasn't through the first black sparkle jersey thing. So all the kids are like, black jerseys are awesome. Which I really like. I'm like, oh, bud, you tiny idiots.
Did you guys see the it was kind of like a fan made City Connect jersey. It was like TTC inspired, and it had like a little the ribbon was all of the subway lines, the colors of the subway line. I actually thought, I was like, and when we talk about vibrant colors, like I was like, oh, that, like I can't argue with that. Like that actually looked really cool. Now I didn't like the giant TTC logo in the middle, but you know,
No, that is weird.
yeah, like the team sucks already. It doesn't need to be TTC level shitty. So
What do you guys think about sleeveless jerseys? You know, like they used to.
I was never a fan of those.
Those are cool. I think they're cool.
I'm gonna file them under robo-umps, Dustin. Robo-umps on second in that column.
Somebody was wearing them without the shirt underneath, and I was like, whoa. It's like, that's insane. They look like strippers, and I was like, I mean, I guess if you're going to do it all the way. I have no opinion on it. I feel like it's beyond me. I don't understand them. Maybe I'd be into them. I don't know.
I like them. They should bring them back.
Are there any other suggestions or changes you'd make to Blue Jays uniforms?
Well, I know I've spoken on it before. I would like to still see the baby blue jersey with white pants. I know that's kind of Kansas City-ish. And I still would like to see the royal blue top with royal blue pants.
That would be good.
Yeah, I agree with the blue and the white. Also, I have an argument. The blue isn't the right color blue. They've changed the color of the blue on the jersey. It's more of a robin's egg blue. If you look back to the pullovers in the 70s, they're a lighter blue.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's a different
It
blue.
is.
They kind of touched it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's different. It's the new blue they call it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I like a good, real bad tuxedo powder blue. They used to have like Flashback Fridays, maybe in like and so I picked up a bunch of the powder blues, like the Youth Large powder blues, which are like wearing a sweater. Those majestic jerseys that aren't cool base, I don't know, they're amazing. But like, I don't know, I wish that they would have throwback nights and just like showcase the old jerseys. Like you don't have to put them into play, but like once a month or like every like Sunday or Saturday, pull out one of the old weird jerseys. Like that'd be sick.
I love that idea. That bring back an old like black, black and silver jersey one night, or the ones with the like
Dustin, not the sparkle jerseys. Those
Yes.
are allowed. Those
I
are
wouldn't mind seeing
shameful.
that. I
and
wouldn't
then
mind seeing it.
the ones with the Blue Jays guy that's got the like
with the muscle.
The
Yeah.
Poochie, the worst one, the Poochie
Yeah,
logo,
the-
I call it, from The Simpsons.
yeah, muscle man.
Yeah, I call it the Poochie logo.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be sick though. Wouldn't that be fun though? Like that's fun. Jays aren't fun.
Yeah, no, I would do that too, Liz. But we already have a powder blue that I'm okay with wearing often. But how about if we're gonna have a retro inspired jersey? How about we get rid of the buttons and it's like the old school,
Pullover.
right? If you're gonna do a retro jersey, let's go all in and yes, let's correct the color, because every time I see it, I'm like, I don't know if that's right, and I'm glad you said that because
I don't think Justin Turner will like that. You can't. It won't go down long enough.
Yeah,
It
you
won't
can
go down.
cut it.
You know.
No, he could cut a fashion strip in it. He could just cut the neck lower. Why won't he button up his shirt? Why?
I do like the late '90s. I believe the late '90s kind of Maple Leaf jerseys. This for me right now, and at the time I wasn't big on it, but this is the peak of '90s campiness right here. This, right? Like it was just it's so campy. I love it now. It just it does it. It's not serious, and maybe this team should have some unserious jerseys right now too. I don't know, given that it's not very serious about winning.
I thought maybe instead of Toronto, they would have put like Hogtown or something like that instead of just Toronto, right?
Because they would have done the 6. If they were going to do that, they would have said the 6. The 6? Come on.
I'd prefer that over Hogtown.
I just find that's more basketball. That's more a Raptors
This
thing.
is true. This is true.
Or Toronto. T-R-O-U-N-N-O. Toronto.
Toronto.
In the ads, they say Toronto. Toronto City
Toronto.
Connect. Yeah, I'm like, no, that's not.
Yeah,
we don't
that's
say
how
the
you know
T.
they're not from
Nobody
here.
says they use Toronto or Toronto. Nobody says the second T. But I think I wish the City Connects glowed in the dark.
I thought about that as well, and I'm like, I just wonder if that would be too distracting when they play. But to sell them, I thought that I thought about that feature, and I thought that would have been a cool feature.
Well, they're not playing in the dark, Rob.
Yeah, and also like when they do the Romano entrance and the stadium gets all dark and all the boys are just glowing.
Yes, I was about to say that. Yes, tsunami. Do, 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 do. You know,
Yeah.
And then everything's like glow in the dark. So, first year of City Connect, maybe it'll, maybe they'll improve. Maybe they'll add, further functions like glow in the dark stuff.
Oh, they'll probably do day mode. I'm sure that they're not above doing day mode jerseys.
I saw somebody in the stands today, and they had like a red T-shirt.
Yeah,
you see
I saw
it?
that one in the shop.
Was it
I
good?
touched it. Yeah, it actually feels pretty nice. It's got like it's red and it's kind of like got little stripes on it. It was a textured looking shirt. Yeah, that's a nice shirt. That's the only one I thought I could buy that for like things.
Okay, one last item on jersey chat. Okay, you have one jersey. You're going to a ball game, which I think I might this week. You have one jersey to wear. What are you wearing? You don't have to own it right now. You could, you don't have to own it. You could, in your mind, it's in your closet. What jersey are you, what jersey are you putting on? You can include a player too if you want.
I'm going with I'm still going with my royal blue.
For me, I'm wearing my gray Rhodes Bautista jersey. I just like that. It's cool. It's Bautista. I like the gray. It matches my skin tone.
I'm gonna go with the 1993. I think they were made by CCM, but it's like it's the button down, like with the big logo on it. I think it was from 93, maybe 96. It might have been later, but it was the one you think of when you think of winning the World Series. And I would go with Kelly Gruber. What a piece of shit. That's what I would do.
Growing up, I was obsessed with retro. Like any retro sports thing I had to have. So it was growing up. It would have been powder blue. We have powder blue now. I'm gonna go royal blue as well. I just think it's the contrasting of the white and the blue is just amazing. It just stands out. And the blue is just such an awesome blue as well.
And you can spill stuff on it. Like straight up, I never wear my powder blues because I can't spill hot dog stuff on it. Royal blue, you can spill it on all day, man. Even like the whites, I can't buy a white or a gray.
Okay, so we can add that. So the next City Connect needs to be glow in the dark and it needs to be spillable. Although that means it's probably not black because black's gonna show everything. Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
It just has some kind of coating on it.
Scotch guard it.
All right. Well, I think that is all the time we have. Liz, how are your eBay auctions going? Did you want to plug anything?
Man, I'll tell you, I have my hot gossip. Ready? They ended this morning, and I was like, cool. And I saw there was 4 auctions. I was selling 4 cards of my stupid face cards. And I was like, I saw 2 auctions, and I was like, that guy's not going to pay. I knew it days ahead. I'm like, that son of a bitch. He bid up. He didn't respond to me when I was like, hey, man, thanks for buying a card with my face on it. Didn't respond. And so he ghosted me. Like, he probably owed me $3 grand maybe. And I was like, that's cool. But he made fun of the charity I was supporting, which made me very mad. So I was like, so I just said, this whole time I've been making buds with the card community. They've been so nice to me. I've done some of their podcasts. They've reached out to me. They've been so kind to me. So like I've made all these little friendships. So then I was like, hey guys, this happened. And then they just put the man on blast and it just went. So we have one card up. We're going to donate 100% of this card to Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital in Toronto's Concussion Center. And like everybody's like, hey Liz, how many cards are you going to sell? And I'm like, I have no idea. I'm so annoyed with like selling cards. I'm like, we may just sit on them forever. I may just throw them off the back of my bass boat and say goodbye to them. I don't know, man. But no, the auctions are going well. Like, I don't know. People have been so nice to me, so kind to me in the baseball and card collecting universe. I really appreciate it.
That's good. And how's your healing? Like, are you getting better?
Yeah, thank you, Rob. Thank you for asking that. Okay, so like my face is getting better. I've got this bump that's disappearing slowly, but I have a wild concussion. Like I'm gonna spend the summer just rehabbing my concussion. I got some doctors. I'm doing my thing. I have some I keep forgetting what day it is and what time it is, and sometimes where I am. So I don't know. It's been a trip. I don't necessarily think that you should get hit in the face with a 110-mile-an-hour fastball or ball off the bat. But like the thing is, people are like, "Hey, I had a concussion really bad. I fell out of a tree, or I got hit with a soccer ball," and I'm like, "Oh, it makes sense that my concussion is this bad." Like, yes, that does make sense. Guys, I have a job interview on Tuesday. If anybody has any advice for me, let's go.
Well, I actually was watching the Jays game the other day, and Bo hit another foul ball. It looked.
You know what?
I was like,
yeah, it roped. So I was again meeting with the Jays VPs to talk about kind of this, and I'm like, hey, you guys saw the 14-inning game, and they're like, yeah. And I was like, did you see that one? And they were like, yeah, it looked like yours.
Screamer.
And I was like, yes, it did. I said it was a screamer off the bat, like to the, I guess Bo's like the left. And over. I was like, and it went over the fences, over the net. And I just said, it's not my job to tell you what to do, but maybe you should look at that. I never.
Like raise the netting?
Yeah, I just said, I'm not going to tell them, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people who have a problem with the netting being raised or the netting even being there. And I just said to them, you have engineers. Go back. You've moved the seats. Go back and maybe remodel that and look at the implications. Right? Because, it happened to me. You just saw it happen last night too. I said, there could be something there you didn't think about.
And sorry, Liz, what section were you sitting in again?
I don't remember, but I was okay, so you know how, I think it was maybe 137. That's my theory, is 137. It's whatever section is by, it's after third base and not quite the outfield on the side. But it's where the netting comes down. And I was up higher. I was up in row 30. It was weird. So the ball just kind of went curved and then just shot at me. And I think, yeah, but it was not man, I go to a lot of games. It was not in a section, you have to keep looking. But it was not in a section where you would assume you would get rocked by a ball. Somebody did the math and they were you had less than a second to respond. You had half a second where you saw it. And I was like, that makes sense because all my buddies around me, my section, nobody got out of the way because nobody saw it. There's just something, I don't know, there's an angle there where the seats are and it just could kind of loop over. That I suggest they re-examine. But I did not, nor did I advocate anywhere publicly for more nets.
On the record, people, on the record.
They need to look at their own situation, but we support them and we support fan safety.
Dustin, you want to plug the...
Yeah, I mean, if you want to follow us on Twitter at S2S Pod, please follow us there. We're looking for more engagement on the Twitter. But... yeah, and if you want to email us, what do you know the email, Al? I forget it off the top of my head. Is it S2S?
Station2pod@gmail.com.
Email us there. We want to get some questions and start interacting with some people. So if you're listening to this, please contact us. We want to have a mail the bag segment one day. So follow and email.
Get some mail for that.
All right, thanks everyone for joining me.